Greetings, dear viewer. I hope your day has been good. And if you're starting a day, I wish you a successful day ahead. In my tutorial today, I'm going to take you through the design of the form. And the form that I want you to design, it's the form that is here. So let me just run it. I'm going to type the instruction Python uh, form.py. Then you see what comes. This is the form that I want to design. And this form has the widgets that are introduced in a previous class. The only thing that is different is the label frame and how we position things here. So if you want to learn about it, stay in the call from the start to the end. And I'll appreciate if you drop a subscription and refer a friend. When you learn from one another, we create a system of interdependence. We create a good system of good relation. Otherwise, let's start our lesson for today. I'm going to import Tkinter as tk. Then from there, I'm going to create my window equals to tk dot, so it will be tk dot tk. And then another thing that I'm going to do, I want to alter the geometry of this window. So I'm going to say window.geometry. I'm going to put, let's say 800 by 400. And then I'm going to have window.pack. So this is going to create the width. So why is it not okay? Okay, so this is the window. So I'm going to say window dot main loop to actually display the created window. Then we see what's going on. Okay, so let me just run the file. We see what comes from 1.py. It's displaying this window that is 800 by 400, so we can reduce it so that it can accommodate the other one. So let's say by 200. So when you run it, this is what it displays. So this is the window that I want to create. And then from there, let's go quickly and create our widgets. So I'll start by creating a label frame. So I'll just say label frame equals to tk dot label frame. You can call it whichever you want here. So for me, I just decided to call it as label frame. So I'm going to have label frame, and then I want to position it inside the window. And then I want to have the text that is a basic information. And then I want to create some, I want to pack it label frame dot pack. Then from here, I now want to create the widget. The first widget is for first name, so I'll just say first name. First name equals to tk dot label. Then into bracket, I'll put it inside the label frame. And then the text that I want it to be there, it's a first name. The first name. Then it's always important to make sure that your text is visible. So I'm going to use font variable. Then I'm going to say my font, I'm going to use Arial. And then 15, and then I want it to be in bold. Okay. And then I can have first name dot grid. So I'm using the grid to help in positioning. So I'm going to put it in the first box. So the first box of the grid, we normally say row 0. So in Python, we start counting, indexing from 0. Then column equal to 0. So row 0, column 0. This is what you're ending up with. This is row 0, column 0. You can see there's this thing in the label frame. Then from there, I want to create an entry. So creating an entry again is going to be easier. So I just say first name first name entry equals to tk dot entry into brackets. I want to put it inside the label frame, and then I play with the font. I want to have consistency in my information. I always take care of my audience, so you should be able to see it to the finest details. So now I'm going to pack it. There is a first name entry. I'm going to grid it. For now, I'm not going to pack. I'm going to grid it. So I'll just say row equals to 0. And then I want to put it in the second column. So I'm going to have column equals to 1. Then you can clearly see the product. Wow, we are progressing on well. So this is the first name and where the user is going to enter the first name. And then I want to create another label in front of the first name. So I'm going to go to the second grid. So I'm going to have last name label equals to tk.label tk.label, and then this label I'm going to put it inside the label frame, and then the text in this label should be last name, and then I'm going to play around with the font. So it depends on the font that you're going to choose. So just what you have to ensure, put the font option equal sign, then indicate the name of the font you want, then the size, and then the style. So let me have the last name. The last name entry is not a label, and then dot grid. I'm gridding it in the second column, so in the second row. So it will be row equals to 1, then column equals to 0. So let's see what might be the problem here. Last name. Okay, let me create the last name entry. Last name entry. Last name entry equals to okay, so I'll just say tk.entry into brackets label frame, and then I put those font styles that I need to be displayed there. So I'll put font here. Then this is a last name entry dot grid, and then okay, next I'm going to have last name label dot grid. I want to grid this one first before I grid an entry. So I'm going to say row equals to 1, that's the second row, and then column equals to 1 0. That's for the first row, and then the entry for the first column, and then the entry I want it to be in the second one. So okay, I'm going to have last name entry in small letters. Remember, variables are case sensitive. If you call them differently, so you're going to have an issue. So let me put this one in the second column. Okay, I want these two to be in the first row, to be in the same row. So it will be row 0, and then the third column, then this is row 0 again, then the fourth column. Third column is shown by 2, then fourth column is shown by 3. So let me run my file, and then you see what's happening. We have a label for first name and last name. So it's now the time to insert some. I want to put a radio button. There is a radio button for the user to select, to pick the gender, to pick actually the gender. Okay, let me just put the gender in the list so that you can be able to choose. So I'll actually create a variable. So I'm going to say genders equals to, so we are having male, and then here we are having female again. Gender, we have male, and then we have female. So we're creating it in a list. Then for these genders, I'm going to say to create a combo box. This is how we do it This is how we create a combo box. So I'm just going to create a gender label first. Gender label, it will be tk dot label. Then this one is in the label frame, and then gender equals to okay, let me just say something like text equal to gender, and then the values. Okay, text. Okay, I'm going to put my styling there. I'm going to put my styling in this. So this is the styling that I want. Then you're going to have a gender label dot grid. So I want this one to be in the second row. The second row is shown by 1. Then the first column, which is shown by 0. And then gender entry, going to have tk.entry, and then tk.entry. Then I'm going to have it placed inside the label frame, and then I'm going to have row. I'm going to have okay, this inside the label frame, and then I'm going to put the font style so that at least it can be easy for you to see whatever is there. Then I'm going to have gender entry dot grid, gender entry dot grid. So I'll put it in the second row, and then the second column, the second row, second column. Yes, and then let's see what's the product so far. This is what you're having. Gender is here. But now I don't want to enter the gender. So entering the gender, it might be awkward. So what you can do, instead of that, you can say gender dot combo box. Gender dot combo box. Now you'll see this combo box is coming white because it's not present inside TK. So I'm going to install a library to import a library that has it. So say from Tkinter import TTK. So it's TTK that has the combo box. So I'm going to have ttk.combo box. Now you can see it's available. It's fine. So label frame, font, and then we need now the values. The values equals to, we have our values for genders there. This list, the list we are having here, the genders. So if you run our program, so this is what we are having. So you can see the genders here, male and female. So one thing that I want to tell you, it doesn't matter. So you don't have to specify the font style and size for this combo box because it comes with its own themes. Then after specifying that, we need the button for the user to enter there. We need actually the place, the entry for the user to specify the nationality. So we are going to have, let's say, for the nationality field, I want to have a label for nationality. So nationality to be tk.label into brackets, label frame, and then our text should be nationality, and then we put our font there. So we're going to have our font, then close the bracket at the end, and then we have nationality entry equals to tk.entry, tk.entry, and then we have a label frame. And then our text, we don't need to put any text there. So you can put the font there for the user to enter the nationality. Then let's grid them. So we're going to have nationality.grid. So we want to put them in the second row. Row equals to 1, and then column equals to 3. And then we're going to have a nationality entry.grid. So we're going to have a row equals to 1, and then column equals to 4. Okay, now before that, let's see our counting. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, this should be in the third column, and then this one should be in the fourth column, which is denoted by 3. So when you run, this is the so far what you're going to see. First name, last name, and then you have nationality. And then let's put a spin box for age. So I'll just have age spinner. Age spinner equals to tk dot. Okay, label. Okay, can have maybe, let me call this one age. So I'll have label into bracket. This is a L frame, comma, then the text equals to, let's say age, and then I need those font styles to be available there, and then I just like that. Then this is not an L frame, is a label frame. It's a label frame like that. And then I'm going to have a spinner, so I'll just say age spinner equals to tk dot spinbox. Tk dot spinbox, and then I want to put it inside the label frame, and then the from I'm going to have the numbers displayed from 18. So I need the people of 18 years to join inside this from 18, comma to let's say 70 years, and then okay, we can have those font styles available there so that at least we don't have the default one. So let's grid them. Age dot grid. So let's put it in the third row. So it will be 2 and then column 0. Then we can have age spinner dot grid into bracket row equals to 2. That is the third row. Then column equals to 1. That is the second column. So far this is what you are having. This is a spin box that has the number starting from 18. Then let's say put 69. So if you go higher, you realize that you can't go more than 70. That is it. And then for the last part, I want to specify something. For example, we have, let's say, marital status. I want someone to enter, so we can just have marital status label equals to tk dot label into brackets. So I'm going to have a label frame. Then the text equals to marital status. Marital status, and then the text. We need the font size to be the same, and then let's create a marital status entry. Marital status entry, so it will be tk dot entry, then into brackets. I want to put inside the L frame, comma. Then I want this font styles to appear there, so that at least your text can be big, and then you can see them as you enter. So this is a label frame, please. So don't put the L frame. Then here I'm going to grid marital status, marital status label dot grid. So this one we are going to put it in the second row. So I'm going in the third row. So I'm going to say row equals to 2, then column the third column. So the third column should be 2, and then okay, and then for the entry, so this is marital status entry. So I'm going to grid it. That's row equals to 2, then column equals to 3. This is the fourth column. Okay, so let's see what you're going to have. So this is the information you're going to have. It's going to be organized like this. And then let's not forget to put our button. So we're going to have a submit button. So S button equals to TK dot button. That's how we create a button. And then the button will be inside the L frame, and then the label frame. It's going to be inside the label frame, and then the text that's going to be shown in the this one is going to be register or add details or save details. Save data. And then let's not forget to put our font. This is very important, especially for our audience. Then let's grid it. S button dot grid. I'm going to put it in the fourth row. In the fourth row, so row is equals to 4. Then I want it to be at the center, so I'll say column equals to 1. This is the second column. So far, this is what you're having. This is okay. We can move it forward a bit. So let me just say I put it in the third column so that at least it can go towards somewhere. So it's somewhere here. So this is now the form that we've just created, and then you can see how it appears. You can see the process is simple. So where you think I'm too fast, you can pause the video and at least try it and at least try it. So let's increase some spacing. You can see these ones are stuck together. So I can use a loop. So I'll just say for widget in let's say lframe lframe dot wi inf underscore children so this is a label frame the children. I'm going to say widget dot grid configure. I'm going to set the padding pad y equals to 10 pixels. So let's see, pad y padding is actually the distance. So this 10 pixels, you can see it's very big. It's very big. So you can reduce it to at least half of it. Let me say 5 pixels, and then you see what's going on. Okay, so at least this one is a bit fine. Then let me increase let me just also alter the x. So pad x equals to let's say 5, and then pad y 5, and then we see what's happening. You can see at least there is some spacing, even there is a spacing with the frame there. There is a spacing with the frame. So see you in our next tutorial where I'll be showing you how to save data, how we're going to get the information from this form and save it in our database. Otherwise, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to refer your friend. And don't forget to practice and practice again. I wish you a good day ahead for those ones who are starting a day, and good night for those ones who are ending, and then good day for those ones who are progressing on with the day. Goodbye.